4, 3, 2. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are just getting ready here for our Trauma Center second opinion run by LeoKeidran, running normal. So Leo, I will hand that over to you, and you go ahead and get going.
Sure. So yeah, I'm Leo or LeoKeidran. Been speedrunning Trauma Center for quite a while. It's an anime surgery game, basically, with some visual novel aspects. I'm joined by two commentators, so feel free to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Rena, or Bun, she, her. I also attempt to speedrun this game. I'm okay. I try my best. These two people with me are much better, but that's okay. It's the effort that counts. I'm here to hype everyone up and tell you when to pog or whatever.
Yeah, hi, I'm Thurler. I speedrun this game as well. I'm somewhat good at it, I've been told.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
But, yeah.
What record holder? But sure.
We're here to watch Leo, so I'll focus on that.
All right,
and
so...
if you've never seen this game, get ready for a mind blow.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off autosave. That saves a pretty reasonable amount of time per operation. So we're gonna turn that off. We're also running in Japanese because it saves about 30 seconds on top. But I ran the game in English for a pretty long time. It's fine. So for the timer, I'll count us down. So that's 3, 2, go.
Good luck, have fun.
Of course, now, this is Trauma Center. What you're about to see right here is the main gameplay. You're going to be seeing a lot of it. We're going to be cycling through tools, mostly, to, well, help patients. It's kind of in the name. It's all about surgery. So, the main things we're going to be doing is suturing up wounds, using some healing jelly to cure little minor stuff, using laser to burn off certain things, and using tweezers to pull out these little glass shards here.
One thing that is not immediately clear when you watch this game is that this might look like a mouse cursor or something like that, but this is being played on a Wii, so Leo is holding a Wiimote and doing very precise motions, which are incredibly hard to do fast. So, in just under 10 seconds, Leo finished the first patient of the game. There are 40 total, and this pretty much sets the pace for what you guys are going to watch. Fast-paced surgery, and lots of anime.
Absolutely. We move very fast in this household, and we take no prisoners. And we do a lot of harm to patients. There will be many times in this run where we hurt people, because it is very fast to do so. And while this may not be ethical, I mean, come on. Does anyone donate for Save the Animals here? Let's be real. We're here for the frames.
I'm pretty sure we're saving people, not animals. In this game, at least.
There's no animals in Second Opinion.
Give it time.
Yeah, Leo here treating a tumor really quickly.
Absolutely.
Just like that. Imagine if treating tumors took 7 seconds IRL.
That would be great.
You just waggle your hands with different tools over the patient and boop, it's out.
It's worth pointing out that I didn't disinfect the bandage before I put that on, and we're going to do that through the entire run, because we don't care about the patient's safety. Once it's out the operating theater, it's still for the ward. So.
Yeah, this game has a pretty deep scoring system where like some actions will reward you with cool, good, or bad grades, and depending on how you chain those actions and how well you perform them, you get more score for it. There are also some bonuses per operation, but for the speedrun, we care about none of that. We just want to save the patient and move on to the next one. So that involves leaving a disinfected bandage on the patient. Surely that's not an issue, right?
Of course not. Infections are not the problem here. We're going to see some more tumors here, as you'll come to notice. This is actually a fairly common procedure. You'll be seeing it many times in different forms throughout the run. So get very used to seeing this pretty much exact thing.
Landing on some nice files there.
Of course. Now, it is possible to kill someone by placing the bandage, something I'm sure we're all very aware of. It has happened before, so I'm going to pray to the gods up above that it does not happen during this run. But if it does,
Right.
I mean...
One thing that we didn't mention is the game over conditions, right? You might be wondering, oh, how can you kill a patient? And on the top left, you see a vitals counter, which kind of works like an HP bar. And if that hits 0, you lose, kind of. Technically, you can still be alive at 0, but if it goes to a negative number, you immediately lose.
Yeah, that's probably going to happen a little later on in the run when we get to the 5th chapter.
Spoilers.
Oh, no.
I mean, I haven't revealed anything, so...
So right here we have the main attraction of the run, Angie Thompson.
Yes.
She's going to be screaming for a good chunk of the run, calling us all kinds of things, including Sensei and Sensei and Sensei.
Sensei. It's
Well,
another thing you do have to get used to when you're running this game, but it's not... At least I don't think it's that bad.
I mean, at this very moment, she's not happy with us anyway, so we won't get called Sensei for another, like, 3 ops.
Ah, yeah. Something
Dang.
about not respecting you as a doctor or something like that,
I mean-
because you're still a rookie.
Well, I got a cool there, but the suture just looks awful, so I don't blame her.
Yes, the suture detection in this game can be very questionable at times. And it's sometimes a bit of a toss-up whether something is a bad or a cool. But thankfully, as long as it doesn't kill the patient, it does not matter.
So, this is like the op where Angie sort of really starts to question us on what we're doing. And you'll see why in just a few moments. Now it's probably a good time for donations while this loads in and start dealing with it.
Should point out real quick that these inflammations have very tiny hitboxes, and Leo is just sniping them.
Absolutely. The hitbox is very deceptive, actually. It's a lot smaller than you think it would be, and it gets even smaller in later games.
It doesn't help that the Wiimote isn't the most precise too.
Yeah, that's very true. So, although it's in Japanese, Angie currently just telling us to search around the organ and make sure there's nothing there that's wrong. We're just gonna search in the middle, doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter where you search, as long as you search, quote-unquote. So as far as anyone's concerned, you are actually doing a pretty bad job as a doctor. But I mean, you did get the patient out, and it was pretty sick time.
Exactly.
To quickly answer the chat room, no, this is not Waymotion Plus. This is a release title for the Switch. Is
Yeah.
that how you call it?
Launch title
Yeah.
for the Wii, yeah.
Launch title, yes. So the Wii Motion Plus didn't even exist at the time, and the game wouldn't benefit from it anyway because the cursor is entirely controlled from the IR sensor, so it's just a little pointer thingy.
Yes, indeed.
The first time that Angie might actually respect us as a doctor.
Oh yes.
Here's our defibrillator!
Oh my god, that was green.
It was green. With the defibrillator, it's pretty tight. You basically have to stop it at the right place and hit the green, you're good. If you hit the gray, you have to do it again.
Yeah, you only have 2 frames to hit the green part, so...
Yoink.
That's
Perfect.
twice.
Leo just did it twice like it was nothing.
Alright, now, here there is a weird part where sometimes there can be a cut. No! Bad RNG. But,
Right, we're gonna use our
Wait,
magic
what are you
star
doing?
powers.
hey, we told you to turn off the cheats before the speedrun, dude. Come on.
Yeah, so that just introduced one of the kind of I guess
Core mechanics.
features, yeah, core mechanics
Yeah.
of Second Opinion, of Trauma Set in general, being the healing touch, so being able to slow down time.
Yes, unfortunately, it was not cheats. It is actually in the game. I'm sorry for deceiving you all. The healing touch is fairly useful for casual playthroughs, but it is also very slow, as you are actually slowing down time. While it can be useful in certain operations, we tend to try and stay away from it as much as possible. It takes a little bit to activate, and I'm sure as we all know, if you thought the sutures were wonky, let me tell you about the star detection.
Yeah.
But the main reason we avoid using the healing touch is that it generates a lot of lag in the game because all the particle effects and just graphical effects in general stay around for longer, and you have a lot of stuff going on at the screen, so generally that creates a lot more lag than necessary, and that actually slows down the game more than it should. Not to mention that some iframes get extended, so you can see here it proccing again, and if you look at the in-game time, it slows down. For this operation, it doesn't introduce much lag, but even if it did, this is automatic, so...
God, gel in this game's awful.
Yeah.
The gel in this game is awful. It's very finicky. It's very weird. Honestly, not even I know quite fully how it works.
I mean, credit where it's due, right? This is a DS port. This is a Wii port of a DS game, and it was a launch title, so they didn't have much time to polish the core mechanics.
Yeah.
And on the sequels, they polished it much more. But honestly, the game is still a lot of fun, except when you're losing your run because you failed to draw a star. Then it's not fun. But
yeah, and I don't know. I've seen a fair share of runs die because of that.
Yes.
So we're gonna learn how to draw stars in this very op.
Alright, let's see some stars. Can you draw them?
Let's see.
Leo, are you going for actual stars, or are you going for for entertainment value?
We'll see.
Yeah, as you can see, Leo's stars still kind of look like stars. But if you mess up your movement a little bit, sometimes you get a very weird shape, and obviously the game does not count. But rarely, you will draw something like a pyramid or something, and the game's like, sure, that's a star. Good job.
So we have a dedicated channel in our Discord just for those, which is great.
Of course, those familiar with Okami on the Wii might be familiar.
Yeah, that's another game with, like, sure, you drew something that vaguely resembles the target, so...
Do we have a second for a quick donation?
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
We have a $5 donation from Jagotu that says, make sure you extract all the Doritos properly and don't forget to treat the area with Mountain Dew gel.
No promises.
That sounds about right.
So here on this operation is going to be one of those crucial moments where you you question our ability to be a doctor. As these aneurysms, they're hard to treat, they take a while, it's a bit of a pain. So, upcoming here, there's going to be a lot of them all appear at once, and the game's be like, oh, you should totally healing touch right now. But we're not going to do that. That would be a mistake. That would be laggy. That would be lost time. So instead, we just ignore some of them and just let them burst. I mean, look, he survived. He's fine, right? And that was pretty fast.
Yeah, letting 2 aneurysms explode there is much faster than treating all 4 of them. Because as they are growing, you need to inject more of the orange stuff. So it's faster to just ignore them. You can easily take that damage, so...
Even on hard, it's faster to do that than use the healing touch or attempt to deal with them normally. Cool. So the first chapter was all just a tutorial. The second chapter is actually starting to get into a bit more of the story, kind of explain what's going on. And we're now going to start approaching, I suppose, our... what do you call it? Antagonist? Master of
Antagonist is a loose way to put it. We will be coming up against something that, well, it won't look like it belongs in a surgery game, that is for certain.
Usually when I comment these kind of runs, I just go, well, so far, the game's been somewhat realistic, right? Except for the magical star stuff. Oh, okay, these are actual features that you would see someone in an operating room perform.
Yeah.
However, everything is going to change when the anime plot twist kicks in.
Of course.
Which is coming
because
up
this
in...
is an Atlas game, it could not go without a little bit of anime.
Alright, so we gotta skip through all this garbage story content we don't care about.
Yes. Which, by the way, if you want to come over and run this game, I'm happy to say that this game is very good about getting to the good stuff. You can skip just about every single story cutscene in this game by either pressing the skip button or just leaving.
Yeah, that's you see these bunch of text flying around with the skip on the bottom. Leo just has to press one button to trigger that skip and then just stretch his hands, hopefully, until the operation starts. There's no mashing involved or anything.
It's nice, easy, simple, and it keeps your wrists intact because you're going to need them.
Now, that's not to say that this game doesn't destroy your wrists, though.
Oh, of course.
You can imagine moving your Wiimote fast around for like several hours would,
it does
not be beneficial for your health.
As you would know from experience.
Yeah. Right here, we finished treating all the cuts, but there are more cuts, so we use the ultrasound, find a little bat thing inside the lung, and more cuts, more bats, so we take the bats out, use the Zippy Zappy laser to destroy them, and then the big bat shows up.
It's big bat time!
And it takes 3 hits because this is a video game.
Naturally. What you just saw there was the introduction of Guilt, this game's antagonist. There's going to be more of them, and I don't know if you're gonna like them, but they do throw a bit of a wrench into the run sometimes.
So
a lot of them involve some level of RNG. A little bit, some more than others, as you'll come to see.
You can think of them as like tiny boss fights, so to speak.
It's a skip. Rip. So we have a running joke.
11...
Go ahead. I was gonna say, a running joke that we have is first and second chapter just don't matter. It's not until the third chapter the run actually starts.
Yeah. So this game is actually fairly consistent as far as RNG goes. Like most operations, if you're somewhat familiar with the game, you can execute them in somewhat the same amount of time every time. So it's very consistent, and if not for some very specific conditions that we treat, this game would be great for speedrunning because, hey, there's barely any RNG. However, there are 3 operations in the game that are massively reliant on RNG and completely, I wouldn't say ruined, but they really do stain your
they
fun.
hinder the experience.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was getting at.
Especially given their position in the run at points.
Guilt is gangulated ultrafin and monolatency toxin, I think.
That sounds correct. I'm not sure if it is.
I mean,
but...
I could just say a bunch of random words and sure, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds just about right. They needed the Guilt. They needed the Guilt acronym.
I mean, it works quite well considering like the plot of the story and all that. I quite like it. It's quite a sort of nice bit of wordplay, but we're not here for the story. We're here to go fast.
Absolutely. That's why we play 0 dialogue cutscenes. God bless. We wouldn't want any of those in our speedrun now, would we?
So 3 Chew here is pretty much a repeat of Chew 9. The game is just making sure, hey, you remember how to treat these guys, right?
Because Kiriaki is the most. So Kiriaki is the actual term for these bats. And we deal with them a stupid amount of times in this entire run.
Yeah.
Yes, they show up quite a bit, and it gets a little harder every time with minor changes to how they work, but it mostly stays the same. So, I really hope you've grown as fond of these bats as I have over the years.
Cool switching.
Yes, as you'll see sometimes, switching the tools is a bit weird. You use the nunchuck to do it, and sometimes you're just in the wrong groove and it feels different. It takes a while to get a hang of it, but once you do, it's fairly consistent. There's no like weird dead zone or anything.
Yeah. A lot of this game is just grinding muscle memory. Like, just do the motion for sutures, do the motion for applying bandage. The stars are kind of muscle memory as well. So
Here we go.
it's just practice. 3-4 here has a bunch of dialogue before the actual operation.
And stretch my hands.
Yeah, and it is the main RNG point for, I'd say, the first half of the run.
Yeah, this is the big sticking point for a lot of runs. Well, it won't outright kill a lot of runs, it will ruin most of them. This is Death Terra coming up. And to put it lightly, it's completely luck. While there is some manipulation you can do with the healing gel, what you want to do is essentially wait for these two moving tumors to collide with each other. And sometimes they want to, but sometimes they just really don't.
Sometimes they just phase through each other and you're like, you just went over each other, why are you not together? Anyway, you can kind of manipulate their movement with the gel, but it's not consistent.
And it costs the patient vitals, so...
Yeah. Every time they collide with the gel, they cause damage.
Yes.
And the movement is completely random. And after 3 hits, again, because this is a video game, they go berserk and you can extract them.
Yes.
And you might be thinking, wow, that was kind of fast. What's the RNG in that? Well, there's a second part of this operation where two pairs are present, and if two tumors of the same color collide, they deal damage, create a tumor, and well, I guess you won't be seeing that because Leo is.
I'm
very
performing
lucky.
a ROM hack real quick. There we go.
There we go.
Okay, there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's very, very rare to see them merge
This
together
is-
like this, like both pairs at the same
Oh
time.
my god.
Oh my
What
god,
the-
Leo.
Dude!
Oh,
We're going for the double
This
extraction.
guy is
here.
just marathon luck? What's that? Oh my god.
That was really risky, but it worked out.
It's kind of scary extracting them both at the same time like that because you take a lot of damage, so...
You can see we were at like 80 and now we're at 20.
yes. One alone is enough to do quite a bit to the patient, but doing two at once is... Well, it's very difficult, so... we don't really have an audience to give us a round of applause, but if you want to pog up and chat, go ahead.
Yeah, that was a certified POG moment, TM.
Like for Yobi. If it was allowing this chat.
Man, it hurts saying that. These
It really does.
young slangs are too much for an old person like me.
Yeah. So,
Regardless, though.
yeah, if all the
Go ahead,
anime
go ahead.
wasn't enough, then guess what it's time for? It's time for a bomb!
Yes, let's operate on a bomb.
Of course, and the bomb, as per usual, is motion control hell. It's real bad. For this first part, you're going to be taking apart the screws. There's a hint on the bomb which way you got to turn them. Coming up, you have to move some pegs, and how it fully works, it's a little finicky. It gauges how far close you are to the sensor, and you pull out pegs and put them in. It's a little weird. You'll see it right here.
This is pretty much a tech demo for the Wiimote features.
Yes. Unfortunately, it's finicky, showing the full capacity of why the Wii is somewhat disliked in certain circles.
So yeah, this part here is kind of difficult. Leo needs to kill all the white panels, and if he touches a red panel, he gets a mistake. If he gets 2 mistakes, he dies. So I'll shut up so he can focus. Very nice.
Gotta wait.
Very good. Very nice.
Yes, yes. The bulb also has quite a lot of RNG with how it rotates around and how the red panels cycle. You can also get kind of walled like now.
Yes. Well, not a huge factor of RNG. It can be very annoying sometimes, especially when a tile turns red right before you start lasering it, and you just kind of gotta take the L on that one.
At least it's right after Diphthera, right? So you have 2 big RNG points right next to each other.
And then we can chill out for a little bit. The RNG is done for now.
Reminder to change difficulty for 3.8.
Yep,
Yes.
I was just getting to that. So
Absolutely. We changed.
Yep, no, go ahead.
All right, we changed difficulty here because it is much faster. As you're going to see coming up here, we're operating on a plane because again, this is anime surgery, not actual surgery. And when the plane shakes, basically, we're taking out these puddles. There's like around 3 between each shake of the plane. So the more the plane shakes, or I guess the quicker the plane shakes, the more time we have to take out these things. So on hard, of course, the plane shakes a lot more because the game's very hard and it does not like you. So we do it on hard because it is technically faster.
And yeah, the category rules allow you to play any operation on a harder difficulty. So if you're playing on easy, you can play on any difficulty. If you're playing on normal, you can play on normal or hard. If you're playing on hard, you can only play on hard.
Of course, I only believe it is used for this mission, though.
You can use it on True 4 as well, because depending on how fast you treat the aneurysms, you get some downtime, which is just not present on hard mode. But it's very minimal. It saves like less than a second.
Yeah.
Yes. And with how hard treats patients in this game, you're taking a very big risk for it.
Yeah. So to quickly answer the chat room, as far as 2 assisted runs for this game go, there is 1 finished run, I think.
Yeah.
Made by someone I don't remember. If you type on YouTube, you should see it. Do you remember, Leo?
I had a feeling for the name, but it suddenly slipped me.
Yeah, I don't want to accidentally mess up the name, so just look it up on YouTube.
Yes.
And to answer the bomb question, not only can you do that on a test, like do the final part without the healing touch, if you want to get the max score, you need to not use the healing touch. So
yes, I've died many times trying to do it. Coming up here is...
Yeah, just to finish, you have to become the task, but go ahead.
Yes. Coming up here is Treaty, another wonderful guild. You'll notice it looks like a familiar chip type, perhaps, with some candles. Who knows?
It's a spoiled chips cake of sorts.
Of course. It's got a very big puzzle element to it, but thankfully, we already know the solution. So most of the difficulty of Treaty is mostly figuring out how it works. Thankfully, we've done this many times and are actually very tired of Treaty. So,
Treaty is actually very interesting in the speedrun because, casually too, because the faster you go, the easier it gets. Because when you extract those thorns, or candles as we call them, they will regenerate after some time. And the faster you can extract things, the less you have to worry about them regenerating. So a lot of things in this game get easier the faster you go, which is really good for speedrunning, because you have to deal less with cleanup and just dealing with things replicating and
damage over time, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, so treaty casually is arguably one of the first points that most players will fail at. So speedrun wise, it's always entertaining to just go really fast and completely throw that out the window.
Of course. Now right here is a pretty special mission. It's another type of guild, Tatari, I believe. Now basically, we don't have a cure for it yet, story-wise. So right now we're going around the town trying to find different versions of Tatari so we can extract their essence?
The
and make a
antigen.
cure for it.
Antigen.
Yes. Yes, of course.
So the idea is that there's this outbreak of new guilds. There are several people infected with an immature version of it, and some people are infected with the mature version of it. There's no cure for the mature, so we go to the immature version to extract antigens and make up a new super serum that cures everything.
Absolutely, and unlike its DS predecessor, the locations of them are fixed. Now, there are 3 types of Tatari. There's the yellow, the purple, and the green. Now, as you can see, there are 5 spots on the map. Now, there are like duplicates basically on the map. There are like 2 with purple or 2 with yellow. Now, in the DS game, where they are is completely randomized and it's a big RNG. But over here, it's completely fixed. We do it the same 3 spots every time and it works every time. God bless. We didn't need more.
Yeah, you also notice that there are 5 patients, but we only cure 3 of them, so the remaining 2 are left to just wait for another
Fine.
doctor.
I mean, listen, we were already ruining patients' lives getting them out of the hospital as soon as possible. This is a minor infraction.
If
This
anything,
really is just like death by omission, really. I mean, we didn't hurt them.
if anything, they're better off not being treated by us.
This is true. Now, fun fact about this mission, the only actual operation that counts for this mission in terms of scoring is the last one. So, if you're going for a good score, and you happen to completely ruin the first 2 times, but completely ace the 3rd operation, you're good. S for you.
Do you have time for a quick donation?
Yeah,
Sure.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
This is perfect time, actually.
All right. We have $20 from Talix. Let's get that to $1,000. Get 'em runners. So yeah, we are, for those of you who maybe aren't aware, this is a charity marathon for direct relief for COVID-19 response. We are currently at $688. We are looking to raise for a goal of $1,000. So do exclamation point donations to get that link, and let's get those donos in. Let's get that $1,000.
Absolutely. This is a game, even if we're speedrunning it and hurting patients, this is a game about healing patients. So if there's any time to donate right now, now would be the time.
Speaking of healing patients, we have here Dr. Kazel, which was our mentor for the early parts of the game. You didn't notice that because we skipped through all of the text. It was in Japanese anyway.
It's a very emotional moment, I promise.
Yes. So he had the mature version of the Tardy. There were those 3 colored tumors. You just inject yellow and yellow, green and green, purple and purple. And you do the same thing for the little swimming things.
Yes. Of course, it is a bit weird as they do like to move and bounce around. Not technically random, but it feels like it sometimes. So
Yeah.
you always have to be careful. Thankfully, this is a speed run, and misses don't count unless you kill the patient. As you can see. Now, an odd fact about this is that misses do definitely hurt your score quite a bit if you are going for a big boy score, if you're going for the higher ranks. Atari can be a nightmare because it is very easy to miss their small hitboxes, and even the slightest miss will ruin your combo, which happens to have a huge impact on just how high of a score you get at the end.
For this game, actually, the chain doesn't matter too much because you may be thinking of New Blood's score because on that you get a multiplication based on how big your chain is. But for Second Opinion, it's mostly about getting the bonuses at the end of the operation.
Which coincide with the fact that bonuses especially for later ops include a lot of chain, so usually you have to grind a bit to get it.
They do. There is actually multiple times in this game where you will have to prolong time just to get a combo, just to get a bonus.
Yeah. So even if you're going for score, you still have to be a bad doctor. Like you're done with the procedure, but you leave the patient suffering for a bit so you can grind your score.
Absolutely. And right back to back, we have another strain of guilt. This one is Pempty. Right now, we are currently, again, looking for a cure for it, which happens to be, I guess, the theme of the whole chapter. We just look for cures for these neat little guilts. Right now, we're following the directive of our favorite, Dr. Victor, who is very... I mean, he always seems annoyed with us, so there's not much we can do, but... at least we're helping a little bit. And it's going to be taking most of the rest of the chapter to deal with this new threat. And actually coming up, there's going to be some fun puzzles that are the same every time. Leo, do you remember the puzzles?
Yes, I do.
Excellent. I've heard many stories of people basically having them on sheets pasted up on their wall. Me included.
He says he remembers, but I cannot wait to see a choke as he misplaces a piece.
Oh, I'll misplace one, guaranteed, but I won't forget the solution.
Happens every time.
It
Yeah.
really
Not just
does.
to him, to everyone.
It really does. It doesn't matter how hard I try. I
Nothing
only
worse.
remember the first puzzles, honestly. The
Nothing
second
worse.
ones just come to me as I go.
Nothing worse than losing time on a puzzle.
Alright,
So if you're wondering where the puzzle was, that was it.
that was it. That's the puzzle.
Hang on. Try some more treatments. Obviously not gonna work, but we'll try them anyway.
Of course, of course. It is a very difficult puzzle, of course. I did not get XS for that. That is because, well, XS is a hard-only ranking. You cannot get XS unless you are in hard difficulty. They're very, very hard to get. Honestly, I don't even think that would have been XS. You gotta be extra.
Oh no, it
speedy.
would have been.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So as you can see, the serum R&D developed based on Leo's very smart research is actually working on Pempty. You can see the big jello thing being reduced and the core being exposed, but that's still not enough because after you burn the core, it just regenerates. So after doing this twice, I forgot the position for Greg's brother. Is he the director?
He's like the Secretary of Health, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so he'll go like, all right, well, 2 times is enough. Not kill, close the patient. Jeez.
Just kill him off.
And
already.
let's, yeah,
Just kill him, it's over. Sorry.
close the patient and let's work on something else. So there's going to be more research, which means more puzzles, so we can
Make him a
find
laser.
a proper solution to Pempty.
Of course. Leo, do you remember this puzzle?
Yes, I do. There's 2. I remember both.
Fantastic.
I
Oh
think.
my gosh. Alright, let's hope so.
But do you remember them good enough to do them blindfolded?
Blindfold, no. I'm not a god, please.
You're not making a very good case for yourself right now.
So yeah, the
Angie.
puzzle it's pretty much the same. Like you just put the pieces and they fit, and boom, in 10
Perfect.
seconds you have developed a new laser.
Absolutely. Somehow that translates into new laser. The laser is cool. It's very powerful. So you have to be careful where you aim it. If you don't aim it directly at Pempty, it is very quick to hurt the patient, much faster than the normal laser is.
So yeah, this is the big boss fight at the end of the chapter where we're finally going to treat Pempty.
And it is a big auto-scroller!
Yeah, functionally there's nothing you can do to speed this fight up, but that doesn't mean it's easy by any means. You need to pay attention to what things are spawning from Pempty, and you need to treat them fast, otherwise they will cause lacerations, small tumors, and things that you need to treat. And if you let too many of those show up, you may get overwhelmed by them and the patient will end up dying, but let's see what happens here.
Yes, this fight is very much a big old snowball. If you let things get out of hand, there's very little time to get things back on track. But as long as you basically play perfectly, this shouldn't be a crazy issue. Of course, that requires perfect play, so that might be an issue on its own.
Just don't miss, TM.
Of course, and we should leave this time to donations. Let it play out.
Yeah, just a quick thing. You notice Leo sometimes lets the red cores live or the blue cores live. That's because the priority here is to damage the big core, not to kill the small cores. So it's faster to just take damage and treat whatever shows up than to make sure you don't take any damage. Like, there's plenty of downtime as you damage the core. But yeah, the rest of the fight is just more of what you have already seen. That said, will Leo get the rare skip?
No, that's a no.
No, Rip.
So there's a very rare skip that we've kind of observed a couple of times called Pempty Skip. Effectively, that animation takes some time, and we've observed in a couple of cases where it just doesn't happen, and Pempty disappears, and basically rounds off the operation really quickly. So
yeah, it's kind of weird. There's some kind of glitch where like the game just skips the animation for no reason, saves like 5 to 8 seconds, and it's not consistent at all. We have never really replicated it intentionally, so we don't know what causes it. And
and it's just kind of there. It happens every now and then. If it's there, the run's blessed. If not, well, I mean, good luck. Honestly, I think we just need to call up Tuval or something. Maybe he'll get it.
So 5-2 here is, I guess, not the hardest operation in the game, but certainly the one that will tire you the most. We have 5 patients to treat back to back, no breaks.
Absolutely, and it's all karaoke. It's all slightly harder versions of karaoke, one after the other. It's gonna take a little bit, even with the speedrun strats. And this is most of the time where the casual players will stop if Treaty didn't like keep them away from this game permanently.
So yeah, the game actually gives you 10 minutes to finish this operation. And even if you do time out, if you manage to save 3 patients total, the game will still let you continue. But obviously, we're not going to wait 10 minutes to save only 3 patients. It's faster to just save all 5.
Of course, so this is going to be a big ol' marathon to test just how well Leo's wrists are doing. How are they doing? Are they starting to burn?
they're all good.
Awesome. You'll be perfect.
So I should note here that each patient has a little bit of different Kyriaki, right? So patient 1 had 2 waves of 2 Kyriaki, followed by a big one. The second patient has a wave of 2 and a wave of 3, followed by a big one. From the third patient onwards, the big one will be together with a small one for the last wave. And I think the big one takes 4 hits in 5-2, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
Yeah, so far it has taken 3 hits to kill the big one. Now it takes 4. And you might notice too that the vitals dip dangerously low, but everything is under control, usually.
Yes.
Because each time you extract a Kiryaki, you take 6 damage on normal, on hard it's 8. So if you do some careful math with your vitals, you are guaranteed to not die as you treat the... Well, the patient is guaranteed to not die as you treat them.
Your wrist might be another story, but usually the patient is okay enough. I mean, 2 vitals, that's double 1, right? That's gotta be good, right?
Yeah.
And the best part about this mission is that every patient has a fresh set of vitals, so you can just ruin everyone. And be perfectly fine by the time the next Kiryaki comes around.
But yeah, we mentioned earlier that you can actually go to 0 vitals. The game it shows you an integer on the top left there, but it's actually it has decimal places, right? So when you see a 0 there, it's actually 0 point something. So the patient only dies if that dips to a negative value. But Leo is going to make sure that he doesn't get close to that, because this is a marathon and killing a patient here would mean starting over from patient 1, which would lose a little bit over 1 or 2 minutes, depending on when you kill the patient.
Yes, and in a game as optimized as this, that's kind of a big deal. And for this last patient, we should be good for donations.
All right, thank you very much. We are still at $688 so far, with a goal of 1,000. So go ahead and get those donations in if you got a few extra pennies you found in the couch while you were watching. You can use that exclamation point donate to bring the donate up, or the donate link up, and throw us those coins. So get some of that money in. We get that $1,000. Let's go.
Absolutely, get donating, people.
Did you see the IGT there or not?
Oh, I missed it. I was hydrating myself.
That's cool.
Wonderful. It's okay, the hydration is probably important.
So, the reason why I asked kind of the IGT is because recently, in a run that I did last week, I think I did that off in about 2.5 minutes. So, for reference, that's insane. I don't think I've seen it any faster. I don't know how fast your gold is for that Burla, but it's still a little bit slower, I think.
What am I doing
Yeah,
here,
it's slower. Leo has the fastest 5-chew completion in the whole community. So far.
Man, I always take like 4 minutes. What am I doing here?
So I went to check on the VOD. The final IGT was 7:15, I think.
That's still
7:16
insane.
actually. Yeah,
That
actually,
is really good.
I went to double check. 7:17.
Yes. Oh, by the way, if you ever want to get past Treaty without thinking, just Healing Touch. It makes things so much easier. You can basically do the entire mission in one big ol' Healing Touch. It makes everything very nice and convenient, even if you get 0 points, basically.
Yeah. Like, one of the requirements to get the highest score grade on 3D operations is to not use the Healing Touch. You can still obviously do it all in one motion, like you just extract all thorns, extract all Doritos, and it should still give you plenty of score, but actually for some XS, which is like the highest grade on hard, just removing everything without like going too fast is actually detrimental. You don't get enough score.
Yes, another wonderful instance of hurt the patient for better score. We have another case of Tatari here. It isn't too different yet, even if the American title will tell you something different. It's not very. It's still generally the same operation.
Yeah, the guild just has a little bit more resistance to the serum, so instead of taking, I think 5 hits, it takes 6 or 7.
Oh no.
Yeah, it just takes a little longer. As long as you don't mess up the colors, it's still pretty easy.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it taking a little bit longer. I mean, I guess that is substantial enough in the speed run.
It does make getting the max score way harder because you need to not miss for much longer.
Absolutely. There's actually a funny story about that. I believe it's one of the few missions you can miss on.
That's only for 6-3 and X4.
Ah.
For 4-4 and 5-4, you cannot miss.
Ah, so it is just the worst. Awesome.
Yeah. Anywho, and now into the last sections of Chapter 5, and of course, we're going to be introduced to another strain of guilt.
The more the better.
So,
this right here is...
PowerSpring.
Hell yeah.
So
I can't believe I blanked on that name.
That's cool. So, guilt. Each type of guilt still represents a Greek day. So, Kiriaki starts on Sunday and then goes through to Sabado being Saturday. So, sort of loops round, but in terms of speedrunning, has no importance at all.
Yeah, I mean, story's just kind of there.
So the gimmick for PowerSpring is that there is a worm, and every time you cut it, 2 worms show up, and they do that for a while until they're small enough to be extracted with the forceps. If you take too long to extract a piece of the worm, it'll burrow into a different organ. It starts on the small intestine, then it moves up to the stomach, I want to say. And then it goes to the liver, and then into the heart, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. And if it burrows in the heart, the patient instantly dies and you lose. But on normal, they take far too long to burrow, so it's easy for Leo to just cut everything up and extract them before they become an issue.
Excellent work.
Yeah, the strat that I'm using there is effectively locating the smallest one, cutting it, and extracting it. This really works well because on normal, as Stella mentioned, they take forever to burrow, but also Angie will yell at you whenever one's about to burrow, so it's basically an alarm bell to tell you, I need to pay attention to what's about to happen, rather than extracting.
Yeah. And it's also better to just focus on extracting the smallest worm, because you minimize the amount of worms on the screen. Say you want to cut everything up so that there are only small worms on the screen, you're going to have, I think, 32 total worms, and lasering 32 of those small hitboxes is a pain, so it's better to just focus on like segmenting it, right? Treating a little bit of it, extract the small ones, then move back to the smallest size -1 or whatever.
Yeah.
So now here,
there's more. There's more back to back.
Yeah, a little warning: if you are scared of spiders, they don't look realistic, but it's kind of gross to think about it. So you have been warned.
Yes, this is a very small version of what we will come to know as Savado. They come out of the lungs, they congregate and make bigger versions of themselves. Which is supposed to happen. But thankfully, you can use a healing touch and destroy them all before they get even close to congregating like that. And that is very important, because things can get out of hand if you don't.
Yeah, the laser animation kind of blocks them, but they're tiny spiders that crawl out of the lung. And they make a crystal spider when they join together. And then there's the big spider that's the quote-unquote final boss.
Yeah.
Quote-unquote. Very big quote-unquote there. Because in terms of speedrun, this last guilt strain, Savado, isn't all too difficult. It's just more of a case of management and endurance. So you'll see in a moment that it's a lot of repetition of what we'll do. But in terms of actual difficulty, it's pretty straightforward as long as you don't burn out on a tool too quickly.
Or if you get unlucky.
Yeah, that too.
Lucky.
This is
So, yeah.
true.
Salvato is another one of those guild strains that are heavily reliant on luck. The first phase here is just cutting up its nest. This is actually the only place in the game with a glitch. Is it even a glitch? Anyway,
I would say it's
if
a
you
glitch.
are auto, yeah, if you notice that after cutting a piece of the web, the scalpel goes out. The lore for it is that it's melted or whatever, and NG needs to get a new one. So if you mash Z while a scalpel is out, you can actually trigger the scalpel for a single frame. So what you saw there is Leo tapping the Z button to activate it while it's offline, and that actually allows you to take out 2 web strings at once, like just extract one and then extract the other with the glitch. Anyway, so now Savato is going to take random amounts of time between. There are 2 attacks that it can do: a big cut that spawns small spiders, and 3 small cuts that deals, I want to say 8 damage, but it's been a while. And it takes 4 hits. Each hit takes less and less time to register. So like you can think of it as it having 4 HP bars, each HP bar successively smaller than the previous one. And you have to do this whole cycle 3 times. So here we are on the second cycle with the first tick of damage. And again, it attacks randomly. So far, luck has been very, very good.
Yes, Leo's a lucky boy today.
There we go. You guys jinxed it.
You just have to mention it.
Sorry, I need the
It was
laser
about
anyway.
that.
I need the laser. It's cool.
Yeah.
Nice vitals, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Laser out.
At least the cheats are working out in our favor today.
Yeah.
Now, the way Savato's shield works is a little weird. He actually has regenerating health, so to say. He's got a shield around his core that if you don't keep the laser on it, it will regenerate back. And every hit, basically, is taking that shield all the way down. So if you leave Savato alone for too long, you basically just you reset a lot of your progress, not too much.
So now we inject the black serum, it goes berserk, the healing touch activates, we slow down time, that's not enough. Leo activates the healing touch one more time and stops time to inject the final serum into the thing, making it explode.
Blessed Zawarudo comes to save the day once again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is required.
So you notice Leo took a while to activate the healing touch there. That's because he was waiting for the blood particle effect to dissipate. If you trigger the time stop as there are blood pools on the screen, the game will lag immensely while time is stopped. And that's obviously really, really bad. The difference can be as large as 10 seconds, depending on how much lag you get. So better to wait a little bit on the healing touch so that you get pretty much no lag.
Of course. Now we're getting introduced to our new friend, Naomi. She's another doctor. She has her own side of the mission select. And usually you'll unlock these Z missions at the end of every chapter. You get to play as Naomi for a bit. And she works a little bit differently. Mostly with her healing touch, which we will be seeing in the next operation. It's not needed currently, we're just fixing some bones. You do have to twist your wrist to make those bones turn. So, I hope your wrist is doing okay, Leo. I hope that wasn't too bad. Awesome. Man, you got it way better than I do. My wrist, by this point, is like over. It's done with me.
I've played New Blood. New Blood is a different kettle of fish. This is easy.
Yeah, New Blood is kind of the sequel for this game. There are 3 Wii games for this series: Trauma Center Second Opinion, Trauma Center New Blood, and Trauma Team. On DS, there are 2 games: Trauma Center Under the Knife and Under the Knife 2. And that's literally it for the series. After that, Atlas realized that they can just print money by making Persona games, so why bother with Trauma Center?
It is very sad, but it is very true. And right now, we will be seeing Naomi's healing touch real quick right here. It activates on its own. Basically, how it works is if you perform any operation in the game correctly, if you get an okay at the very least, you get some vitals heals, which is very, very good. it
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
broken.
snaps the game in two. Considering how much you're doing and how quickly you're doing it, the vitals tend to just stay at 99 as long
you
as
see.
it's up there.
So you'll notice here that Leo is at 41 vitals. After activating the healing touch, every action he takes that results in an OK boosts it a little bit. You can see he's already at 65, 68, and with pretty much no effort, just doing the operation normally. This also lags the game way less compared to Derek's healing touch because it doesn't slow down animations. So yeah, it's a much better tool than Derek's healing touch. If we had access to Naomi's healing touch for every operation in the game, the speedrun would be way more interesting.
Absolutely. And basically all of this to say that Naomi is in fact best girl. I'm sorry, that's just the correct option.
I mean, you don't have much choice in this game, but
This is
yes.
true.
Cool. Right, our favorite operating in the dark.
Yes. So this is about the closest we're ever going to get to blindfolded %. This operation takes place on the side of a street. Of course, the perfect place to do surgery. Why would you do it anywhere else? And
I
of
mean,
course,
there was a car crash. We need to save the guy.
yes.
Even if he is
of
stalking us.
Yeah, the details.
Sorry,
I'm
sorry,
pretty sure
man.
we were stalking them, but okay.
Ah,
I thought he was
If
a
you care about
journalist.
this game's plot, if you care about the plot, you can go read it yourself. We're not going to spoil the immensely interesting plot twists and turns of this game.
yes.
But yeah.
As you can see, we're manipulating a flashlight to see what we're doing. And as we open, it is going to get a lot worse.
So yeah,
this will eventually turn into blindfolded %.
yeah, for the final section here, the flashlight just stops working. We get a camera flash, but Leo remembers where everything is and can just do it in the dark.
That was fantastic. I'm only able to get that sometimes. Good job. Can we pog up and chat again? That was fantastic.
Yep, all done.
All right.
Now I wonder how's the delay gonna be for this next op.
Yes. So
I did practice
Z4
today.
is another small little RNG point. We're going to perform a kidney transplant, and we need to apply a vasoconstrictor to 2 blood vessels. And for some reason, the game doesn't really remove that effect. How do you say this? Consistently. So after you're done with the transplant, you have to wait for it to wear off, and that takes a random amount of time. So you can randomly save 4 to 6 seconds here for no reason.
Yeah,
heard
it is.
Yeah.
It is
my
one of the
shoulders.
most painful parts of RNG because you really are just sitting there. Like at the very least, with the weird RNG dependent guilt, you're at least doing something. You really just sit here for a little bit and just chill out, give your wrists a break.
So yeah, right after suturing the green thing there to the bladder, we're just waiting
So,
and waiting and
so
waiting.
Leo, how's everything?
That was really long. The shortest I had it is 3 bleeps on the vitals. So
Oh, dang.
that was like a good 5 or 6. Yeah, not too bad otherwise. Hands are all okay.
Fantastic.
So, to quickly kind of clarify why we're doing half these operations as Naomi, it's because she basically just treats patients so that the organization who's making guilt can keep making guilt. And this operation, in timeline-wise, syncs up to when we were dealing with Salvado, like just before. So that's why we're going to see Salvado again.
Yeah, this time we're gonna deal with the big crystallized spider that would form if all spiders gather around. So as you will notice, as soon as they spawn after Leo deals with the Karyaki here, they will plummet the vitals to 36, and they actually prevent you from going any higher with the vitals. Thankfully, Naomi's healing touch here is just enough to keep the patient alive as we treat the Kyriaki. And part of the conditions to clear this operation is to not kill them. If you kill all 3 of them, the researcher next to you will go, "Wait, why did you kill them? We were studying the thing. We don't care about the patient." So you need to maneuver yourself around the worms. Not the worms, the spiders. And then after you extract one of them, when you're done with the Kyriaki, you're free to kill 2 of them.
There we go.
Wonderful. It is now time to move on to this game's addition. This is a remake. And as such, it has some new content. Chapter 6. This is where it gets real, even for speedrunning. It gets real hard, real fast.
So yeah, we get some plot exposition at the start here that we just skip. Basically telling us what happened Under the Knives Chapter 6. So we skip that entirely to go to the Second Opinion original Chapter 6, where Derek and Naomi team up to treat the remaining parts of guilt after Delphi, the criminal organization spreading guilt, was disbanded. So we're gonna go through most of the strings here a second time, starting with the Tardy. And yeah, these are enhanced versions, so to speak, of the guild. They're not too different, the treatment is still the same, but there are some differences, as you're going to see on the next wave here.
No color. What? You have to tell the color from the smoke now, and it does get a little confusing. It's not too bad, but it is a little annoying.
Yeah, especially when they like bounce together at the middle and all the colors mixed together, it's kind of hard to tell
Yes.
which one is which.
And they are moving a little faster,
Ah, yes.
making their small hitboxes even harder to hit.
So this is the first operation in the entire game where you are allowed to make mistakes and still get the max score grade. I guess when they were playtesting, no playtesters managed to finish this while making no mistakes, so they just dropped the requirement.
Good on them. That was a good choice.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to sit there playing that mission for very long.
So you may not have realized, because the Japanese audio is very, very low on that, but Derek was coughing during that operation and was in a little bit of pain and discomfort. Turns out he contracted guilt while operating. And now Naomi is going to operate on him to save him. He has both Kyriaki and Paraskevi. So this will be our first and only interaction with true guilt in the same patient.
Other than Z5.
Yes.
Ah, yeah, Z5 too.
That doesn't really count. We don't really deal with Savada.
Yeah. So here you can see the Paraskevi showing up with the Kyriaki. Leo's going to activate the healing touch here so that vitals do not go down super fast as he treats the Kyriaki. There are 5 total here on the first wave. The game lags a lot as you extract everything. That's pretty good. Yeah.
So many particle effects, I really do feel bad for the poor bitrate, which must be struggling a little bit.
Yeah. So now you get 2 slightly bigger worms that split into 4 Paraskevi, and the big Kyriaki with its little underling. A very simple operation, but there are many moving parts to it, and it's very easy to just lose little bits of time here and there. This is one of the most technical operations in the game, I'd say.
Did pretty well there. 410 on IGT.
Nice.
Very good.
So that's Derek all cured, and now we move on to the next set of guilt.
which would be Enhanced Pimpty, which is just the exact same thing. In fact, it's actually a little bit easier because the little cores have less HP, but the big core has more HP. So
And you have,
if your strategy is to deal with the small cores first, you're gonna have an easier time.
On top of that, there's no interruptions from the characters, so it's a lot easier to focus on what's going on. Originally, when we dealt with Pempty the first time, I couldn't laser all the blue cores, meaning we wasted a little bit of time waiting for it to move. In this one, I'm aiming to get all 5 so that we don't have to wait for the animation. There's a little bit of time.
Wonderful. We actually take this time to talk about the next mission, which is kind of a big one. Coming up next is... Yes, coming up next is Fallen Heroes. Just about the worst that this game gets in terms of difficulty. It is 4 guilt missions back to back, and it's some of the worst ones. Along with that, just to help you out a little bit though, you do alternate doctors, so you can use the healing touch twice depending on which doctor you're playing as. That doesn't help a whole lot though. The first operation is Treaty. The second operation is Kiriaki. The third operation is our best RNG friend, Defterra, back with even more RNG somehow. And the fourth operation is, oh gosh.
PowerSpring on the heart.
Thank you. I will never stop blanking on that. All the operations are very difficult. And usually they're all the harder versions, of course, and even have some additional stuff just to make it extra cruel. It is where most runs die, either to Defterra RNG or the big choke. Whatever, pick your poison on that one, really. And the best part is it's right at the end of the run. How awesome is that? So
yeah, you spend an hour and 15 plowing through the run to just hit an RNG wall right at the very end. It's very sad.
It's thoroughly depressing.
But yeah, even casually, like that is the biggest wall all players face when playing this game, because the way the operation is designed, you have 4 patients, a 10 minutes time limit, and even though you have 2 healing touches, the way they position the healing touches doesn't really help you out. You get Derek's healing touch for Treaty and Defterra. For Treaty, Derek's actually really good because you can just use it and remove everything. And remove everything. Yeah. But that means you have no healing touch for Defterra, so if you get very unlucky, you just die and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yes, and I'll leave the commentary to Thurler for a hot second. Keep quiet.
Yeah, for this second and fourth patient, you get Naomi, you get Kiriaki and Paraskevi, which, you know, is good. You take a lot of damage on those operations, so it's nice to have a vitals boost. But what you need to consider is that you have a full Paraskevi Worm right on the heart, so you cannot allow Paraskevi to burrow even once. Derek's healing touch would be very useful there because, you know, you can just slow down time and they take longer to burrow. But nope, you get Naomi. And you don't even take that much damage on normal, so enjoy just suffering through it. And it's the last operation too, so you can't really practice it until you get to the last one, which might already be a big challenge for most players. But yeah, Treaty and Kiriaki is just more of the same. You've already seen that a lot. Leo just breezes through. And let's see what we get for Defterra RNG. Yeah, you also get 2 pairs of Defterra, right? And there is a twist in that blood will randomly show up in the operation field. And if blood shows up where you are operating, like say you're cutting Defterra while it's Berserk, the blood will actually prevent you from operating underneath it, so...
Which we've also seen...
on when and... Yeah, depending on when and where the blood pool spawns, you can just lose immediately. Getting an unlucky bump there again. And another one. And another one.
Welcome to Death or Terror.
And another one.
So you can see we haven't even made any progress yet on terms of pairs.
And another one.
They can't keep getting away
There we
with
go.
it.
Yeah, there we go. Finally, 1 tick of damage on each pair. Sometimes, depending on how they merge up, you can be stuck in a cycle where they just bump into each other and the cycles never align. Alright, that's 2 damage on each pair. Now just extract them. And another bump for good measure. So yeah, you can clearly see why this can be very hard. The game just says, nope, you're going to take 1 billion damage and you're going to enjoy it.
And to take as long as possible.
Yep. Oh, I thought Leo was going to go for the goal.
I was tempted, but I went, no. We're doing a marathon here. I don't want to throw this.
Alright, so extracting the second pair, being safe. And now we can move on to PowerSpring.
We get the really fast strats again.
Yeah. So again, for PowerSpring, you get a whole worm in the heart. And you cannot let any piece of it burrow. But again, this is normal. They take a long time to burrow, so you can actually do some very risky strats here. You can just leave things going around, chilling as you're treating the smaller worms. Angie will make sure to yell at you if one of the worms is close to burrowing. Another thing that can be very annoying about PowerSpring is when a smaller worm lands exactly on top of a bigger worm, so when you're trying to extract it or cut it, you might accidentally do the thing to the big worm instead. So instead of pulling the small worm, you pull the big one, and that deals damage. And the worst thing that can happen is you accidentally cut 2 worms at the same time, dealing massive damage and creating a bunch of worms for you to treat. Not fun. But yeah, Leo just breezed through as far as RNG allowed, right?
Yes, you had quite a bit to put up with, but I massively respect that huge effort. I probably would have died there.
Yeah. So now we go on to the true final boss.
Savato 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. So previously, Savato was a blue spider that had some blue flame going around. So now Savato is like very angry at us that we killed it last time. So it is now red with bigger flames and more spiders up its arsenal.
Yes, and the shield that I was talking about with last Savato, it regenerates even faster to a bit of an annoying degree.
Yeah. It has more HP, it has more HP and it attacks more often. Every time it attacks, it fully regenerates its HP, so it is a very annoying fight. You can easily lose an entire minute here if you're very unlucky. And it is the final boss, so you may have just played for an hour and 15 to just lose a whole minute for bad luck.
It really is like that sometimes. More times than I'm willing to admit.
Yeah. So you actually get both doctors here. On the top part of the heart, you will play as Derek, and on the bottom part, you will play as Naomi. So you can actually use Naomi's healing touch here with no issue. The trick is you have to be at the bottom part of the heart, so they will alternate here. And the good thing about this is that you don't need to clean up. You can leave some cuts behind, and you can leave some baby Savato behind too, and they will be automatically treated while you are on the other part of the organ. So yeah, Savato showing signs of aggression there, just going in for a cut. And another one. Not good.
Showing the world that this is in fact a marathon run, and it cannot all be fun and games.
Yeah. So the biggest part here about this operation is managing your laser. You see Leo burned its laser down there. That's because if you get a full laser charge, it's faster to just kill Salvato. You don't have to worry about your laser running out. But it is a little bit of a mind game with Salvato, like, oh, he just attacked, so he's very unlikely to attack soon, but yeah, it's random, so you might just get unlucky and get 2 attacks back to back.
Or
Leo is getting a very aggressive pattern here.
Yes, sometimes you just get back-to-back attacks with no breaks in between, and you just wonder why you're playing Trauma Center right now.
So yeah, second phase here. The first tick of damage is the hardest one to deal because the HP bar is the largest. Again, every tick of damage you deal, the HP bar shrinks. And again, if it attacks, it fully regenerates HP, so the first tick of damage is the hardest one to deal. That's true, if I was counting correctly.
Yeah, Savata was playing a little nicer, which is good. We don't want to be here forever,
There we go.
even if Savata definitely
Much better.
wants to.
That was risky, but it worked out. That's
Yep.
effectively my laser management in a nutshell. Risky, but it works out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it has to be risky, and it just has to work out.
So coming up on the final hit here, you want to make sure that you're over 30 vitals when you inject the black serum into Salvato, because if you are above 30 vitals, it'll put you at 30. If you are at 30 or below, it will kill you. So
Just outright. No
Yeah.
mercy. I don't know how they got that one by the playtesters, but oh well.
I mean, it's Atlus. They just loves telling the player, hey, here's a thing that you have no way of knowing until you actually play the game, and you just instantly die because you didn't know. Enjoy. So yeah, Leo here at 11, boosting up to 35, and now all he has to do is draw a star.
Yes. The final boss is drawing the star, which I mean, fair enough. That is pretty hard.
So alright, that's pretty much GG. Time should be coming up in like a minute. It's at the end of the epilogue, so there's still some text, etc.
Yes.
Hoffman's all stitched up. We're all good.
Excellent work, my friend. That was some good surgery, I'd say. I'd say you did some good surgery today.
Alright, so time is coming up in about 30 seconds or so. So I'll count it down once it's the last few scenes.
So yeah, when you hit skip on the epilogue, all you have to do is wait for the skip to fade, and that'll be time.
Okay, so you want to come up on time. That is about 3, 2, 1, time.
GG.
GG,
Well
boys.
played.
Yeah, we'll let the epilogue play out.
Time too. A 121.38. Very nice.
Good lord.
Yeah,
That's a s-
right?
That's the second 121 in a marathon.
Yeah, you kind of killed it.
Very cool.
So just to bring up the leaderboard here, a 121.38 would be a third place in the leaderboard. So it is better than Iris's PB.
Oh well.
Very
Leo
nice.
showing his consistency live.
Flexing on us peasants who have wrists.
Nah. Fun fact, 121.38 actually ties one of my old world records.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So it's worth noting out that Thala's been running this game for, what, how many years now?
I think 5?
Yeah, see,
4?
Thala's been running it for a very long time, is worth to say. In terms of speedrunning, 4 years is quite a long time. I've only been running since last October, But I fully credit to everyone in the kind of the Trauma Center Discord, including Thel and Iris, for actually giving advice and being really helpful with improving. Because otherwise, I'd probably be pretty lost.
You'd be playing like me right now. We'll just say it like that.
So yeah, Leo in like 4 or 5 months achieved what it took me and Iris several years to accomplish, which was a 120. So yeah,
Yeah, he's kind of a big deal.
pulling off a 121.
Okay,
Live on stream.
It's pretty good. So yeah, we have the
Alright,
incentive,
cool.
right?
Yeah, I was gonna say we have the incentive. Is that right?